tunafundisha ujuzi wa sika tumeelewana? Sisi hatufundishi communication. Tunafundisha communication skills. Ile lazima ulifahamu sana. So most of the question ukianza kujiuliza tu zinakumove wewe hatuwezi kuhusu tunataka umove kwenye communication skills. Let's now from there, let's start. We know the communication skills by start defining the term communication. We say the term communication originated from communication originated from plus communication originated from Latin words communicare. Latin words communicare, which means to share. Therefore, communication refers to the process of sharing information. Information from one person to another. Very good, class. Very good. The word communication originates from Latin words communicare or communis, which means to share. Therefore, communication refers to the process of sharing information from one person to another. The process of sharing information from one person to another is called communication. Before sharing, one needs to plan, select, and organize the message and organize the information. You can listen to me. Later on you can write, because you have almost everything, so that we go with the speed, or any if you have a speed you can cover. Class, together we say the word communication originated from Latin. Communicare, which means to share. So we say the word communication means the process of sharing information from one person to another. Class, what's important here is information. We just share. What do you share? You share the information. The information being talked here, we talk it as a message. This is the message. So communication skills, in order to communicate well, you need to have the ability to prepare this message, ability to send this message, ability to select appropriate channel, so that you communicate between the sender and the receiver. Class, we say communication refers to the process of sharing information from one person to another. What do you share? You share information. Now, what the information should look like for a sender, for a receiver to interpret well the message. In order for the information to be well, or the message to be well, or ability to communicate well, the module has discussed using 7 C's in communication. Those 7 C's in communication are the information, what you need to write, what you need to do for in the message to send the appropriate message. Number 1, they say the message should be clear. Number 1, they say the message should be clear. When you communicate, make sure that the message is clear. This is ability, this is skill. Anybody can communicate, but communicating, make sure the message is clear. Send the appropriate message. Say what you want to say. Receiver, they have a lot of meaning. They should not anything meandering that disturbs the receiver from grasping the message. What do you want to communicate? Go direct to the communication. Mtu anakuambia mimi jana nilipita pale kwenu nikakuona. Tena juzi ukapita na mama nilikuona pale ukapita. Sika tumeelewana? Receiver anapata message. Receiver anaelewa message. Message na haieleweki. Kwa nini kusema nini? Kwa hiyo kumbe wewe mwambie mwenzako labda nakupenda, wewe kaka sana nijue ili uone, si ndio The message should be clear. Si ndio Unaona mtu anaamka, anaenda kwa mtu anamwambia mwenzako nimeamka pale, yani nyumbani pale. Nilipoamka tu, yani mimi na matatizo mimi nyumbani pale. Wewe acha. Mwenzako anakuambia pole. Kwa nini the message is not clear? Wewe mwambie bwana, niazime mwenzako hela. Nimekuja hapa sina hela nyumbani, niazime nini? Make sure that the message is clear. The message should be understood to a receiver. One of the ability, one of the communication skills, one of the message should be carried. The message should be carried this. Make sure that when you write a message, the message is clear. Avoid ambiguity when you write a message. Class, look at example of this. Let's say Musa told John, his brother has arrived. Musa told John, his brother has arrived. Brother of whom has arrived?
Musa, John,
Naughty? Is this Musa told John, his brother has arrived? Is the blood of John or blood of Musa? The message is not clear. Whose brother is? Mother beat her daughter while drunk. Mother beat her daughter while drunk. None leo. Mother beat her daughter while drunk. None leo. None leo rafiki. Mother beat her daughter while drunk. None leo. Mother beat her daughter while drunk.
Haieleweki. Yawezekana ni Manza
wakati amelewa nani?
Nani aliyekuwa amelewa?
Mama mtoto.
Au mtoto. Haieleweki, si ndio He killed. Wangapi wanasema Kiingereza huko? He killed a man with a knife. He killed a man with a knife. He killed with a man with a knife. Ina maana ngapi sentence? Ina maana zaidi ya moja. Naomba mniambie. He killed a man with a knife. Maana ya kwanza?
mtu wa kutumia kisu.
Na kisu kiliwa. He killed a man with a knife. The first meaning. The second. He killed a man using a knife. Then, knife was used as an instrument. He killed a man with a knife. What's that? The second meaning? He killed a man with a knife. The man that died was holding a knife. Right together. The second meaning. A man died was holding a knife. He killed a man with a knife. Yani jamaa aliyekufa alikuwa ameshika kisu. Kwa hiyo kufa huko sijui kama tumeelewana. Kwa hiyo maana ya kwanza he killed a man with a knife ndio hivyo. Kwa hiyo when you communicate, make sure that the message is clear for a receiver to interpret the message. Kwenye moduli yetu imeelezwa kwenye 7 C's of communication. Simakumbuka alifika hata akapiga 7 Cs. Zile ni vitu ambavyo vinatakiwa kuwa kwenye information kwenye message. Yaani utaalamu na wewe kwanza kuona kwamba huyu jamaa ameanza kucommunicate, ana uwezo wa kucommunicate. Unaanza kuona kwenye information. How do you communicate? Make sure that the message is clear. Number 2, make sure that the message is concise. I say concise.
Concise.
Concise means the message should be brief, very brief. Concise. The message should be very brief, very brief, very brief. When you write a message, the message should be a brief. People have a lot of things. Writing a very long message, they fail to grasp a meaning where they come from. So write a message which is very brief, concise. Class, we say, when you're writing a message, when you share information, things to consider, make sure that the message is clear. Number 2, make sure the message is concise. By concise, we say, make sure that the message is very brief or very short, so that the receiver understands the message. Number 3, make sure that the message is corrective. Make sure that the message is correct in terms of grammar, spelling, grammar, spelling. Make sure that the message is correct. Class, number 1, things to consider when you write a message. Number 1, make sure that the message is clear. Number 2, make sure the message is concise. Number 3, make sure the message is correct. By the correct, we say make sure the message is correct in terms of grammar and spelling. Assume we have our friends, he or she is in Europe. Then we say, brother, when you or sister, when you come back, make sure that you take a sheep for us. Then we want to meet a sheep. Jamaa nafika bandarini anamwambia bwana, nimefika bwana bandarini mje mchukue. Nimje tukabidhiana anambia asivuka nayo tu. Si ndio Kumbe sisi tuliagiza mbuzi si kondoo. Jamaa kaleta nini? Ndio tunapoanzia hapo. Si ndio So, when you communicate, make sure that the message is correct. This helps a receiver to grasp the message. Class, number 1, we say make sure the message is clear. Number 2, correct. Concise. Number 3, correct. Number 4, complete. Make sure that the message is complete. Complete in terms of place, time, venue, and everything. When you want to communicate, tell your friend everything, important information about the event the person wants to know. Do not leave a space for a receiver to start asking questions him or herself. What do you want me? You tell me, Mr. Kiungo, karibu sana nyumbani kwetu huku, let's say mfano Idiwili. Nina mtoto anapata kipaimara. Is the message complete? No. Anapata kipaimara lini? Unamswali nani kwa mzaa? Lini? Saa ngapi? Muda wa kulaji saa ngapi? Sikani sije kanisani, si ndio? Nikati ukumbini penda nyumbani saa ngapi? I need to know. Kama nakuja kanisani, si ndio? Au muda fulani nijue. Nauli narudishiwa au nije nayo. Tell a person. Si ndio? Kwamba na siku tutatoa lunch na pia kama nakunywa, si ndio? Na nini kitakuwepo? Tell a person a full package. Sababu nafanya mzakumbuka mtu anakuja ili ajue. Pa kulala kama tutalala space ipo, au I need to have a budget for a guest, si ndio? A lodge. Natakiwa kujua. So when you communicate, a person who is studying communication skills need to send a message which is complete. That's the ability. That person is studying communication skills. He is not studying communication because he already communicated. But this is for professional. When you send a message, you need to have the ability to send a message which is clear, which is concise, which is correct, which is complete. Speak with a friend, then speak with a friend about the communication skills. That's 76, then we continue. Okay. Okay, class. Another, the message should be concrete. The message should be concrete. 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 When you speak, the message should give a clear picture of what you want to say. Have a clear picture of what you want to say. If you cannot tell it in a simple way, you can draw. But let's have a clear picture of what you want to say. Uwahi mtu anaongea kitu alafu anasema wewe mwenzangu umeelewa, sasa mimi mwenyewe sielewi chochote. Mimi sijui. Na mwingine naye sijaelewa chochote. Kwa hiyo sisi tunapo communicate as a professional, having communication skills, we need to have a clear picture. Speak, give people a clear picture of what you want to say. If the people in the you are telling about narration, about sadness, we don't expect you laughing. We need to see you giving us a clear picture of the event, what happened. And not have a side when narrating that action. Speak the truth, giving a clear picture. Mr. Coco, Soko, Mr. Humphrey, Mr. Madam Bison, Madam Amina, he cannot give a clear picture or concrete of the event, what happened between Mr. and that person, because of the friendship. And when I want to know the friend of this man, I can ask her. Hawa jamaa kigombana, mimi namuuliza madam. Wewe madam, hawa jamaa wewe walipogombana ilikuwaje? Ukitaka kujua rafiki wa huyu kati ya huyu na yule anampenda yupi kati ya hao wawili, umsikize kwenye maelezo. Anaanza kusema huyu unamwona mwalimu. Huyu alimwambia nani? Humphrey mshenzi. Wewe mwalimu, wewe unaweza kumwambia mwenzako mshenzi, huyu mshenzi. Wewe mtu wewe kumwambia Humphrey nani? Mshenzi. Na Humphrey akamwambia na wewe mshenzi. Wakalaliana. Si ndio? Najua jamaa kumbe walichoambia ni hiki. Lakini haiwezekani hata mimi alifanya Humphrey sawa. Umeona? Huyu anakuwa hatupi ile clear statement. So when you narrate, give a clear picture of what you want to say. Kama watu walipigana, show the sadness. If you narrate about sadness, give a clear picture. Okay, watu walikuwa ni huzuni, si ndio? You want to see you. Sasa watu pale walichinjwa, hapo wanacheka walichinjwa pale. Is that, don't give us a clear picture of the event. So when you try to communicate, make sure that the message is concrete. But also make sure that the message is coherent. Coherent. Can I say coherent?
Coherent.
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 Coherent means when you speak, make sure that the words that you speak or narrate relate with the topic you've been speaking. You should relate with the words with the subtopic or topic being spoken. Atarajiwa hapo nasema bwana demokrasia hapo sababu mbuzi wajijua wote. Is there any relationship between demokrasia na kujijua mbuzi? Is that there is any coherent? We want you to show the relationship between coherent, the topic being topic and the subtopic. That if you talk about democracy, that there is a freedom of expression. In our country, every person can speak, can give out opinion concerning the government or his or life or welfare of the villages. That shows there is a democracy. So there is a relationship between what the man speaks and the topic. There should be a relationship between the topic being spoken and the words being narrated. That is called coherent. Tunataka ukizungumzia demokrasia huku chini tukute issues za demokrasia. Sika tunaelewana. Yaani sasa tunasema jamani tunazungumzia demokrasia. Kuna malaria sana Mungu atakuwa. What's the relation between demokrasia na Mungu? Yaani sika tunaelewana na malaria. Sika tunaelewana. When we expect what if we speak about diseases? When you speak about malaria, that's coherent. You can't learn. Kuna uhusiano. Si mtu anasema magonjwa. Si ndio Alafu anasema demokrasia. Is in the relationship? Unaona hakuna uhusiano. So when we speak, when we want to communicate with our friends, let's have a coherent. This helps a receiver to grasp the meaning. Tumesema, when you communicate, make sure the message is clear, make sure the message is concise, make sure the message is correct, make sure the message is complete, make sure the message is concrete, make sure the message is coherent, and final, make the message be consideration. Consideration. Send a message to receiver that you also wish to receive. Do not send a message that also would not like to receive. When you send and prepare a message, consider receiver. Kuna mtu hapa anaanza, ni kweli mimi mwenzako nimekosea. Si ndio Lakini mtu anaanza, wewe kiungo mshenzi, mbwa, takataka, nilikuwa nakuheshimu, fara. Matusi kama ametukana mwenzako, karibu 4. Mimi namrudishia daima na wewe fara. Mimi fara, yeye anamuuma moja, mimi anatukana 4. Mimi anatukana 4. Yeye mmoja sasa fara. Kwa hiyo katika watu wote kijiji hiki, umeona fara mimi, nasema wote utanitambua. Sasa mimi natukana 4. Mimi natukana moja. Sio kosa la mimi kwa. Lakini yeye inamuuma hilo moja. Kwa hiyo kama hupendi kutukana wenzako hata kama umekosea, wewe ukikosea unatamani kutukana? Sio? Kama unatamani kutukana, unatamani kuna ujumbe fulani uambiwe kistaarabu, send to a person hata ukikosea. Sika tumeelewana? One of the aim of communication is to solve problem, not to create problem. We need to solve a problem. Communicate, consider receiver. Mwambie, mimi kwa umri huo sikutarajia ufanye hiki. Sio? Kwamba kwa umri huo sikutarajia ufanye ulichokifanya. Sasa yeye ndo anaanza kujitukana yeye mwenyewe. Kwa hiyo mimi umri amana nifanye kitu kibaya. Kwa hiyo mimi kwa umri nifanye kitu kishenzi. Ile sasa ni yeye, sio wewe. When you send a message, consider a receiver. Class, we were speaking about 7 C's in communication. This comes from the information. We say communication refers to the process of sharing information from one person to another. This information should be well prepared in order to send the message to receiver, so that receiver can grasp the meaning. That's all together. Yes. That's why we say in preparation of the message, we need to consider this. Make sure the message is clear, make sure the message is concise, make sure the message is correct, make sure the message is complete, make sure the message is concrete, then coherent as in consideration. Ongera rafiki yako kidogo. Speak with a friend a little bit. Class, let's back. My friends, consideration, we say, when you send a message, make sure that you consider a receiver. You are a sender. When you try to send a message, consider the receiver. Let's say together. Yes. Consider the receiver. Consider the receiver.
Yani na consider yani ile message yangu na kumtumia yeye. Nitakiwa niangalie jinsi. Consider. Yes. Usizingatie na kuzingatia. Jinsi hapa kuna kitu kinanichanganya hapa.
Consider the receiver. Send a message that you also wish to receive. Yani mjali mwenzako. Sika tumeelewana. Yani mjali mwenzako. Usitume message ambayo wewe ukitaka kutumia mwenyewe upendi kuipata. Yani hata kama amekosea. Sika tumeelewana. Yani mtumie mwenzako message nzuri. Consider the receiver. Kama lugha pia haijui, usianze kuku anatuma Kiingereza. Anaamka na watu wengine lomba anatafuta dictionary. Maneno ni magumu. Sasa nisiwezekana message ni mkipokea anasema ulinisomesha mimi wewe. Ulinipiaga sika tumelana. Anasumbuka na anaitupa kule. Kumbe message ilikuwa ya muhimu. Kama mwenzako hajui Kiingereza, mtumie Kiswahili. Sika tumelana. Consider the receiver. Kama hata amekuudhi, jaribu kutumia lugha ambayo ni nzuri unapo send a message ili usolve tatizo. Umeona vizuri? Consideration. Consider your friend. Send the message also you wish to receive. Now, we have components of communication. See here, we have components of communication. Number 1, you have sender. Number 2, message. Number 3, channel or media. Number 4, receiver. Number 5, feedback. Sender is sometimes called encoder. Very good. Encoder. While receiver is sometimes called decoder. Very good. Decoder. Sender is the one who initiates the message. Message is the main thing, being or information that you want to communicate or to share. See here? That's message. Channel. After feedback here we have context. But in fact, context will be here. Context needs to be here. After message, then before selecting a channel, we need to have a context. Context will help you to select a channel, appropriate channel. Let's assume. Mimi naenda kwa madam, naenda kumpa ujumbe kwamba kesho tuna kikao saa 2. Si ndio rafiki zangu? Kikao saa ngapi? Saa 2 asubuhi. Na mkuta madam sehemu amelala, amelewa chakani. Yale mazingira anaruhusiwa kumpa ile information. Na maana mazingira yanagoma na select another channel. I go home na mwambie mume wake, wewe mke wako yule zikiisha umwambie kesho saa 2 kuna nini? Kuna kikao asubuhi. Si ndio Kwa hiyo environment imenichange mimi kumpa ujumbe madam, si ndio Message madam, ni select another channel. Au let's assume Mr. unaenda kwa madam hapa. Si ndio Unamkuta madam, ulitaka umwambie madam ujumbe muhimu. Si ndio Ujumbe muhimu. Inawezekana ukawa kilimo au wote au unampenda madam. Ukamkuta madam amesimama na mwanaume mwingine. Yale mazingira utamwambia madam unapenda. Miss, will you do that? No, si ndio Kwa hiyo utaselect another channel. Kwa hiyo environment imekugomea wewe kumpa nini? Message. You are going to select another channel. Unaenda kutafuta namba yake labda ukamtumia nini? Ujumbe, another message. Kwa hiyo message environment is here, almost here. Context allows you to select the channel. Or allows you to change the channel in order to communicate. Then you have channel, then you have receiver or decoder is the one who receives the message. Then you have feedback, then you have context. This is a component of communication. But we have components of communication process. That's another. Most of the questions are being asked. We there, for example, discuss communication process. Communication process is another. Communication process involves several steps. Communication starts with sender, then it goes to encoding, then message, very good, then message, then channel, very good, channel, then decoding, then receiver, then response, then comes in feedback. Very good class. These are components of communication processing. Communication processing. Sender, then you have encoding. Encoding the process of turning thoughts into, the process of turning thoughts into a graph is called encoding. So you encode, then you write a message. Is it? We have a sender. So you encode to think, then you go and write a message. After writing the message, then you send, you select a channel, you send to a receiver. A receiver gets a response. It's sometimes called feedback or a response. But response is an action of how the receiver received the message. Feedback is the response or answer that you've been given. Let's assume umemtumia mtu message, si ndio eh? Akisema si ndio eh? Is that a feedback or response? Response. Si ndio eh? Namna alipopokea nini? Ujumbe. Sema kweli. Sasa anaenda kuandika kwamba no, sio kweli, mimi wamenifakazia tu waongo. Ni wambea tu hapa. Mimi mke wangu yule mgeni nilimsindikiza tu mgeni kwenye njia ya guest, mimi sikuingia guest ndani, msindikiza najitetea mnamjibu kasi. Ndio? That is a feedback. When you write is a feedback. But when you respond to the message being received, that is response. That's it together. Tunaweza kutofautisha kati ya response na feedback sasa. Response tumesema ni ule
mwitikio.
Na ulipopokea ujumbe, si ndio? Unaweza kuwa kushangaza, wakufurahisha, ukafurahi, si ndio? That's the response. Lakini feedback, the information you prepare to give back a sender to inform him or her about the message being sent to you. Kwa hiyo class tumesema tuna kitu kinaitwa components of communication na tuna components of communication process. Ongea na rafiki yako kidogo. Speak with a friend. Then tunaendelea. Class, components of communication. Number 1,
Sender.
Number 2,
Message.
components of communication. Number 1,
Sender.
Number 2,
Message.
Number 3,
Channel.
Number 4,
Receiver.
Number 5,
Feedback.
Number 6,
Context.
Number 6, context. Okay, I said in a communication it should be here, but according to one it should be here. But in fact, in the usage, the context is seen to be somewhere here. But here we say it should stay. Okay? Context. Need. Context. Communication process. Components of communication process. Number 1, sender. Number 2, encoding. Number 3, message. Number 4, channel. Number 5, decoding. Number 6, receiver. Number 7, response or feedback. Response or goes to feedback. Class, in your communication, a sender can be a receiver. Is it true or false?
Yes.
Okay, let's say we have sender here, and we have receiver here. Then a sender says, Kiungo mambo, this man stays a sender.
Yes.
Poa, I'll be a receiver. Are you together?
Yes.
Na keep poa. Unaendeleaje na familia? Sender. The man stays sender. Naendelea vizuri ndugu yangu. I stay a receiver. This stays a sender. Now, most of the time, in fact, a sender can be a receiver and interchangeably. But a sender can be a receiver sometimes only when a topic changes. Let's give an example. Kiungo mambo, poa. Unaendeleaje vizuri. Si ndio? Mimi nikiuliza, wewe kiungo lenako unalipa nini? Topic imefanya imechange. The sender amegeuka kwa nani? Receiver. Na receiver anageuka kwa nani? Sender. So sometimes in fact they exchange. A sender can be a receiver. But most of the time also a sender can be a receiver once the topic changes. When you change a topic, one goes to the sender and one becomes a receiver. Now class, in a communication you have model that explains communication process. Number one, you have linear model. Linear model. This is the communication where we say it is a one-way communication. This is one way. This is one-way communication. This is one-way communication. One-way communication. A sender sends a message and there is no feedback. The communication goes in linear way. There is a sender, then there is a message, there is a channel, there is a receiver. There is no feedback. So in a communication in this model, they believe that communication is linear. They believe communication is linear. You can communicate by sending only a message without expecting response. Hivi tuulize mfano gani matangazo yanapita, jamani, mnapolala huko, mnajifunika chandarua, si ndio vizuri. Hivyo mnaamka asubuhi na mke wako anasema twende tuwatafuta halmashauri. Mimi na mke wangu wake Mungu jana tujifunika nini? Chandarua. Au mnapeleka feedback? Compare feedback. So that type of communication is linear. It's linear. It's linear. So the communication that lacks feedback. Number two, we have interactive. So interactive communication. Interactive mode of communication, which is this is two-way. This is two-way communication. Sender sends the message and receiver gives out feedback. Class, what did we say about communication? We said the word communication originated from Latin, communicare, which means to share. Therefore, communication refers to the process of sharing information from one person to another. We said before sharing the information, make sure that you plan, select, and organize the message to send the message to receiver. Now, how do you plan? Now, how do you organize to show that that person learned about communication skills? We say in organizing message, in selecting the message, in preparation of the message, make sure that you use the skills that will help a sender to receive the appropriate and grasp the meaning of that the sender wanted to communicate. One of that, sender needs to create the message to be clear, the message to be concise, the message to be complete, the message to be correct, the message to be concrete, the message to be coherent, the message to be consideration. Very good. The message to be consideration. These skills will help a receiver to grasp the meaning very well. But we say we have a components of communication. Where number one we say we have sender, then message, then channel, then receiver, then feedback, then context. Those are components of communication. But we have components of communication process. Where number one we say we have sender, then encoding, then message, then channel, then decoding, then receiver, then response, then we give out the feedback. Class, we say we have models of communication. Number one, we say we have linear model. We say this is the one way of communication. A sender sends a message and he or she do not receive feedback. But interactive, we say this is two-way communication, where a sender sends a message and he receives a feedback. He or she receives the feedback. Class, number three, is transactional model. Transactional model. Transactional model.